Unlike high-speed cameras, which require reading out a lot of data, event cameras can capture fast dynamics while maintaining a low sensor readout. An event camera's pixel transmits information only when the perceived brightness changes by a certain threshold, with the transmitted information encoding the polarity of change. This selective transmission produces a spatiotemporal grid of change polarities that we visualize here. Unfortunately, the sparse spatiotemporal data captured by an event camera does not retain sufficient information to reconstruct high-quality scene intensities. For example, here are the outputs of a recent intensity from events technique. Details of the scene are hard to discern in dynamic regions while being completely lost in static regions. In this work, we conceptualize a novel space of generalized intensity-preserving event cameras. Our proposed designs generalize events in terms of when they're generated and what flux information is captured by them. Generalized event cameras facilitate high-fidelity intensity imaging while retaining a low sensor readout. This makes it possible to image the slingshot shown here at 3000 fps and with a modest readout of 495 megabits per second for a 1 megapixel array. The high-speed information captured by generalized events also enables imaging non-rigid deformations. Here, we image a stress ball that is hurled at a coffee cup. A 30 fps capture conveys the extent and speed of motion in this scene. A high-speed camera can capture the deformation dynamics at 500 fps. However, each captured frame is SNR limited in indoor conditions and features prominent noise and compression artifacts arising from the camera's ISP. Meanwhile, reconstructions from an event camera lack scene information and do not capture the coffee mug placed on the table. In comparison, our generalized events provide high-quality intensity reconstructions at 3000 fps that successfully capture the extensive deformations of the stress ball. The readout cost of our events are quite low at 360 megabits per second for a 1 megapixel array. Next, we consider an urban nighttime traffic scene. For frame-based cameras, low-light scenes force a choice between short exposures that preserve motion information but are too noisy, and long exposures that mitigate noise but suffer from motion blur. Nighttime sequences are also challenging for existing event cameras, leading to significant blur in detecting events. As a result, the outputs of a technique such as E2VID are also of low quality. Our generalized events benefit from their single photon implementation and offer good low-light performance. Here, we show reconstructions at 3000 fps and with a readout of 315 megabits per second per megapixel. In addition to recovering the details of the motorcyclist and car, we recover the flicker of AC lights mounted just outside the glass building. As a direct implication of preserving intensity information, we can run a variety of downstream algorithms in a plug-and-play manner. We show this on a tennis forehand sequence with a 30 fps capture that depicts the racket speed, and our reconstructions which capture the racket swing in extreme slow motion. We run a corner detector and an object detector. The latter succeeds in detecting the person, racket, and tennis ball. We can also reliably estimate the player's pose and provide fine-grained segmentation of both static and dynamic regions of the scene. In summary, we design a novel class of generalized event streams that contain rich scene intensity information by harnessing the photon detections captured by single photon sensors. Our generalized event cameras provide the exciting capability of high fidelity imaging with an efficient readout, which directly facilitates plug and play event vision without the need for any algorithmic re engineering or retraining.